Shalom, shalom. Call HALALYAM La, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone to teach and move well. Peace and salutations be to hopeful elect. I'm Brother Atazam Gabar coming at you from the Prophets in Babylon camp here in Tampa, Florida. And this lesson today is going to be going into this picture, this post. The beloved brother William Bradley 144K on Instagram posted. He says, the post says, developing one of the world's deadliest volcanoes responsible for killing 25,000 people in 1985 is poised to erupt in the coming days. Capitalize on days, man. You know, and check this out, man. The Lord is really sending plagues out in the earth. You know, and this volcano that killed 25,000 people, you know, 35 to 40 years ago, is now about to erupt again. It says one of the world's deadliest volcanoes, man. You know, so that's a dangerous volcano. The Lord is, you know, working the earth, man. You know, it says, according to the Daily Mail, Colombia's Nevada del Ruiz registered an unbelievable 6,000 earthquakes per day last week, leading officials to raise the alert to the second highest scale and evacuate more than 2,500 families in the area. Some 57,000 people live in the volcano's hazard zone, which is spread across parts of 6 provinces, according to Colombia's Geological Service. Scripture this brother dropped was 2 Ezra 15:14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So destruction be to the world and them that dwell therein, because many plagues are going to be sent upon it, and are already being sent upon it. Acts 2:19, and I will shew wonders in heaven above and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. All right, so there you have it. The Lord is going to show them signs, man. Blood, fire, vapor, and smoke. There's signs appearing already, man. You know? Let me grab this. You know, because I was in on that brother's precepts. I'm going to grab mine now. In the book of Luke, chapter 12, and verse 49, I am come to send fire on earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? So the Lord is coming to send death, destruction, and disaster upon earth. But when he gets here, it's going to already be kindled, because guess what? The Lord is already sending them plagues, man. You know, before the Lord arrives, and you know, physically arrives, there's going to be many disastrous things and catastrophic disasters that take place on earth. You know, in this world, man, and especially here in Babylon, you know, but the entire earth is going to be mourning and weeping because of what? The Lord is going to be sending them plagues upon it heavily, and it ain't going to slack a moment. Like the birth pains, you know, let me grab that. Birth pains, which pains slack not a moment, you know, because it's a good analogy to what's about to be happening to this place here in Babylon, man. In the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16, and in verse 38, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb. So guess what? The Lord is about to be, the Lord represents that birth, man. The Lord represents that, you know, that delivery. When the baby comes out, when the Lord comes out, guess what? He's getting closer and closer to the Lord being delivered, you know, here to you know, coming to the earth, you know. It's like a baby being delivered. And guess what? When a baby's being delivered, she gets birthing pains. She gets birth pains. And it says 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which is very close to the birth. You know, when you see the birth pains taking place now, it means we're very close to the Lord's arrival, man. His second arrival and appearance. It says, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. So they ain't going these plagues ain't gonna slack a moment. You're gonna get hit with one plague and then get hit with another one right after. You know, ever since 2019, 2020, the plagues have been coming back to back, man. Things have been happening back to back, and it's like the world has not gotten a break since, you know. And the world is mourning, man. Matter of fact, let me finish this. It says, even so, let me grab this real quick, and then I hold on to it. Because nobody's safe from the Lord's wrath. It says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. So the world is already mourning, and it's gonna get only worse. It's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse, man. You know, sorrow is gonna come upon the world on every side, and the world is mourning. You know, and it's only going to get worse, man. It's not gonna get no better for this place until the Lord comes. Do the birth pains get better before the baby comes? No. So how about when these plagues that are hitting the earth, are they going to get better before the Lord's arrival? No. They're going to get worse because the Lord is getting closer and closer to popping and cracking the firmament open, you know, and pulling up on this place and really reaping havoc on this place, man. We grab this in the book of Ezekiel. It says, Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 5, that all flesh may know that I, the Lord, YAHAWASHI, have drawn forth my sword out of his sheath. It shall not return anymore. So guess what? The Lord has drawn his sword out of his sheath. He has declared war upon this place, man. The Lord has, what the scripture say? Matter of fact, let me grab it. Because it's all too simple, man. Exodus chapter 15, verse 3, the Lord, YAHAWASHI, is a man of war. The Lord is his name. Okay, so the Lord is a man of war. Now it says that all flesh may know that I, the Lord, Yahawah, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, have drawn forth my sword out of his sheath. It shall not return anymore. You got them samurais when they got their swords outside of his casing, or which is called a sheath. When they pull that sword out, they ain't gonna put it back until they draw blood, man. You know, it's the same thing with the Lord. He said he ain't putting that sword back. He putting the sword down until this place is done. You know, until YAHAWASHI arrives, and that's gonna be the ultimate, you know, get fucked up. Hashtag get fucked up. Because the Lord gonna fuck this place up, man. You know, you really think you safe? You really think you in security? The Lord saying in your security, he gonna take your ass, man. Let me grab it. In the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and verse 7, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. Because what? You don't want the Lord to destroy you. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord and get on his side. Because what? When the Lord comes, you know, ain't gonna be no time to pick sides. You either pick sides now or you're gonna get fucked up later. The Lord gonna pick the sides for you, man. You know, and no answer is an answer in itself. Because what? The Lord say, for I will demand of thee and answer thou me. And if you don't answer the Lord, guess what? The Lord gonna destroy your ass, man. You know, and put not off from day to day. You know, don't be, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll start tomorrow. I'll stop eating pork tomorrow. I'll cut my dress tomorrow. You know, don't put off day to day, because the Lord can come through today and whoop your ass. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. You ain't going to see it coming. You ain't going to expect it. It's going to hit you off guard. All right. And then you're going to try to catch yourself and balance yourself, trying to balance yourself and try to serve the Lord. But it's going to be too late for that. So many destructions and plagues and so much disaster is going to be going on. Your mind is not going to be stable enough to reconfigure itself, to actually reestablish itself. You know, you have to establish your mind now in the daytime, where it's the time to establish your mind, because now is a high time to awake out of sleep. There's going to come a time where it ain't going to be time to wake out of sleep. It's going to be time for judgment. It's going to be ass whooping time. It's called Jacob's trouble, because Jacob going to be getting a ass whooped, man. Jacob's going to be in trouble. And what makes you think that in that time you're going to be able to, oh, all right, I'm ready to serve the Lord? No, now is the time to serve the Lord when you're trying to please your flesh. Now is the time to sacrifice things. And that day you ain't going to have shit to sacrifice. So how you going to try to please the Lord in that day? You know, you're going to be a nigga that did nothing and expect to be saved, man. It says, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed. So in your comfort, when you think you good and safe, when you think you comfortable, kick back with a bag of Cheetos, watching your favorite fucking show, the Lord going to crack that fucking sky open. Your roof going to get peeled off of the top of your house, and he going to blast your ass with nuclear missiles, man. It says, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So, okay, so the Lord said you're going to perish in the day of vengeance, man. That day is a day of vengeance. It's not a day of hugs and kisses. It's a day of where the Lord's going to come back to whoop your ass for trying him, to whoop your ass for trying his elect and his chosen, to destroy the heathen for trying his people. You know, that's a day of great death and destruction. It's not a day of hugs and kisses. You know, it's not a day of rainbows. It's a day of darkness and gloominess. Matter of fact, let me grab it. In the book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 18, Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, YAHAWASHI. To what end is it for you? So what are you going to get out of it? The day of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, is darkness and not light. They be thinking, oh, it's a rapture. It's going to be a rapture. We're going to be saved. We're going to be good. These motherfuckers really think that they, just because they go to church on Sundays and then go clubbing out Sunday nights, that they're going to be saved. They think they already saved. No, the scriptures say, he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. So what are you enduring? You know, these people in church are not even aware of what to endure. They don't know what the fuck they're supposed to be enduring. They thought they were supposed to be in there on this. They think the endurance is going to church every Sunday. That's what they think they got to endure. You know, because they don't really want to hear it. They just want to go in there and fool themselves, deceive their own minds into thinking that they're some kind of righteous or holy. That's a strong delusion on our people. You know, our people are very destroyed. And it's sad, man, but ain't nothing you can really do about it. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. That's how dangerous it's going to be in that time. That's how disastrous and scary it's going to be in those days. You're going to be calling upon the Lord at every fucking second. You know, it's not going to be a time where you can just lay back and kick it or drink wine and shit. Now, the servants of the Lord may be able to do such things as those because they're going to be taken care of in those days. But you wicked ass 2/3 niggas don't even think about it. That's what you're doing right now. And what are the Lord's elect doing right now? They're suffering. They're suffering for him. Because what? They're sacrificed and sacrificed and sacrificed. And have given and given and given. And continue to do so. But what are you doing? You're taking and taking. You know? Pleasing your flesh as much as you can before the world ends. You know, there's a literal mindset on the people right now to live it up as much as they can and do as much wickedness as they can before the world ends. That's an actual mindset on the people. They call it YOLO. You only live once. They call it no regrets. You know, meaning to go and do what the fuck they want to do before the world ends. You know, try to have as much fun as possible and destroy yourselves as much as possible before the world ends. None considering that you still have to pay a visit to the Lord, YAHAWASHI, at the end of your life. That you still got to live again. You know, matter of fact, let me grab that and we'll come back to this Amos. In the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 56. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. Okay? They didn't consider that there was going to be they're going to have to suffer for it after death, man. You know, that because you get reborn again. The spirit doesn't die, but the body does. You will come back in another body. And you're going to pay for what you did in the last body, which is now in the earth, which will be in the earth. When it's in the earth, you're going to get a new body. And you're going to have to pay for the sins of what you did in the last body. Those scriptures say we all must appear before the judgment seat of Yahawashi Mashiach to answer for the things we have done in this body, whether it be good or bad, roughly paraphrasing. All right, so we have this scripture here. In the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 14 and verse 34. Therefore, actually, no, that's not the one. Salakia. Actually, yeah. It says, 2nd Ezra 14 and 34. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, which is your mind, to reconfigure you got to reestablish your minds, man. You got to set the mind in place now. You got to put discipline and walls up in your mind to protect you from wickedness and to protect you from going away from the Lord and walking astray. You got the sheep. The Lord is the sheep. The Lord is the shepherd and we are the sheep. You know, and he's leading us into salvation. And when one of the sheep start to go off into the woods or go off and get lost, it's going to get torn by a wolf or torn by wherever, a bear, whatever it may be, you know. But you got to reestablish your minds and reform your hearts so that you won't have to go astray. It says, ye shall be kept alive. Look at that, man. Ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. Okay, so the Lord going to keep us. Okay, we're going to be protected and saved. And it's not like we're going to be, it's not like it's not like we're going to die in that day, man. You know, not everybody's going to have to taste death. The scriptures say there be some standing amongst you today that shall not taste of death. You know, so you ain't going to have to taste death in that day, man. If you be the Lord's men, Lord will. You know, some of the elect may have to taste of death. They may have to be martyrs, but there's going to be some elect that won't taste death. And the only death is going to be the death of this body, because they're going to be changed, you know. But you're not going to die in the second death. You're not going to die by burning or fire. You're not going to die a gruesome or painful death. Because scriptures say the sting of death is sin, you know. The sting of death, you know, is there's a sting to death, man. There's a bitter feeling to it. Even going out or dying, it's bitter, you know. But it's not going to be that for us if we do have to, you know, if we do, you know, change these bodies. If we get these bodies changed, if we be of those men, these bodies changed, it's not going to be a sting. It's just the Lord was going to instantly, in the twinkling of an eye, as the scriptures say, you know, we shall be changed, you know. It says, and ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. You're going to know who the 2/3 is in the kingdom. You're going to know who the elect is in the kingdom. You're going to know who really put their best foot forward in this truth here in Babylon in the kingdom. You know, because the Lord is going to, you're going to show it on them, man. It's going to be different levels in the kingdom. We're all going to be rich as a people, but the elect men, they're going to have different, they're going to have different abilities. They're going to have different, how do you say it, allowments. They're going to be allowed to do more things than a regular Jake would be able to do, man. I remember having, you know, having a vision, you know, of the night, and not to boast, Salakia, but having a vision of the night the Lord sent me, and I was flying my own chariot, and I was standing on top of it while the chariot was flying, and I was flying it like, you ever seen Static Shock? I was flying it like that, and I was flying it through the city, and all the people were cheering, you know, and I was with another brother, you know, of my camp. He was flying on his chariot too, and I was showing him how to do tricks and stuff on the chariot, you know. We were flying through the city of, you know, like in the kingdom, and the people were cheering us on. And I was showing them how to do stuff with the chariot, and I stopped over the city, and while they were cheering us on, I said, look, you can even do this with the chariot. And then I said something in the Hebrew, and the chariot literally transformed, and it became humongous, man. You know, it became humongous, and it turned into like a golden color. It was like it transformed, man. It was beautiful, you know. But that's just like those men. That's a pure and prime example of those men in the kingdom. Those elect men, they're going to be on a different stature, man. They're going to be in a different, you know, they're going to be in a different realm, you know, like we are now. Lord willing, we be those men. We are in a different realm now. We're going to be in a different realm then, you know. But saving that, Israel, 2/3 Jake's still going to be taken care of. They're just going to have they're going to be ashamed for a little while, man, because of they're going to realize that, okay, the elect was trying to tell us the entire time, you know, get right. And they were right. They're going to realize that they were right, the elect was right, and they were wrong. And that they were wrong for oppressing YAHAWASHI. You know, you had Paul, whose name was originally Saul. And the Lord was like, why you kicking against the pricks? Why are you oppressing me? You know, and, you know, he changed the name into Paul, and he became, you know, one of the greatest apostles in the book, man. You know? But it says, for after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. Okay, so there you have it, man. You know. There you have it, man. Got to get it together, because the Lord is sending these plagues full-fledged. The Lord is sending death and destruction into the earth. And if your mind isn't established, if you ain't right, you know, you're going to be one of those that are taken away by the fire. You ever see those movies where you got like the Avengers or some shit, and you got the main characters, and they be running through a city or something, and you see buildings collapsing, and all the people that were in those buildings, they not accounted for. Nobody sees their faces. Nobody takes note of their names. They only know the main characters, and seeing those main characters get by, they are, you know, happy with that. But all them side characters that are dying, or people that they were the multitude, you know, that decided to do whatever the hell they wanted to do, or decided to please the flesh instead of the Lord. They are the multitude. They are nothing, man. They're like nothing. You know, the side characters. You know, side characters going to try to get their shot in the camera, but they never will be able to, man. Entire buildings, towers collapsing down, full of people. You will never know the face of them. You'll never know their faces, never know their names or their last names, or even have a memory of them, because they did no works towards the Lord, YAHAWASHI. So they weren't made main characters. But with that, I truly hope this lesson was edifying to you. Akim and Akwah, through listening in truth and sincerity. So next year, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Shalom.